When we think of the word hero and heroics, we often think of superheroes. The image on the left is me cosplaying Chitara from the Thundercats, a popular 1980s TV series that demonstrates this idea of hero. She was a hero, a superhero. Below is an image of me, young me, playing in a band that I will come back to later. Looking up the etymology and the definition of the word hero to ground ourselves, hero appears to come from a Greek word that had connotations around defense and protection, but also the demigods, which I think again ties into our culture's ideas around superheroes. And I think we tell very similar stories about superheroes as we're told about demigods, even though superheroes hold a different position in our society than demigods did in the societies they came from. Now, for me, as a 50 or almost 50-year-old Black woman, this ideology doesn't work for my personal system anymore. It doesn't work for how I view myself and the world. Recently, Netflix did a movie about Jeffrey Dahmer and brought back into our group awareness, our group consciousness, the event that one of Dahmer's victims was came to the aid of by several women who tried to help him out. And although we don't know for sure, most likely the social cultural position of the women and the victim versus Dahmer's as a white male, the women were both female and not white, same with the victim, that had a result in which that the police gave the victim back to Dahmer. And this doesn't lead me to end with defeat. But what it does lead me is to be thoughtful and use awareness and acknowledge how society responds to me. And I think where the place to engage in heroics, the place to lean in, is to reestablish intimate relationships. Over on the left is my guinea pig, and I'm messing around with their cage, and he's hopped in front of his other little friend, both to see what I'm doing, but also as a protective mechanism over there, or most likely. Again, I'm not sure what's going on in my guinea pig's brain. And I think we can do this with people we are close to, people that we are embodied space with. I've learned through creating closer relationships, to talking with people more around me, that there's a lot of organizational work going on in Cincinnati and where I'm at. But because again, sometimes the dynamics of the hierarchies that happen in our society, some of this organizational work is kept quiet to protect it. And so being a hero sometimes is also protecting things that you know that wider viewpoints might not be so down with. I also think there is an element of self care, and I'm always cautious to use this term because it's been marketed in a very specific way. But I think of Audre Lorde using the concept of self care as a way to survive. And that self care wasn't just about spa days, but self care was about being in relationship with people. Self care was about taking rest when she had cancer and needed to rest, having down days, making sure that she was going to the doctor, making sure that going to alternative medical practices if they were helpful to her. And these are the things. And I think also an important element of this is the idea of balance, and that balance is constantly moving and shifting and is actually rarely a still point. So sometimes things will feel extreme, and sometimes you'll be able to come back to center. Finally, I want to offer that as adults, we are often given only the option of being perfect. And I think this has limited how I can show up in heroic ways. So, young me wanted to be a professional musician. And when that didn't work out, I stopped playing music because my skill level went down. I didn't have the time to practice 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Recently, I've just been playing because I enjoy it and the love, the way it feeds and nourishes me, which I think is necessary to engage in heroic acts. I think you have to be fed and nurtured, or you're more likely to engage in heroic acts when you are well and when you are feeling whole and human. So, remembering that to feed yourselves, even if ways that maybe you were told that are embarrassing or shameful, as long as they're not harmful. Again, keeping in mind that not harming others, trying not to harm yourself. I'm going to end with playing the scales on recorder, and that will be that. So, again, something that many 8-year olds work on. It's fine to come back to and relearn.